Forrest Galante hosts Animals on Drugs. I mean, the title just says it all. The show is premiering on July 28th. It's a three-part series on Discovery. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, Rudy, thanks for having me. I'm stoked for people to see the show.
I think people heard about the movie Cocaine Bear, or they might see an animal, doing something on social media. I mean, but this is a real thing that happens. I mean, talk a little bit about preparing for the series.
Yeah, look, this isn't a cocaine-fueled bear on a killing rampage. This is a real, true global issue where animals are becoming intoxicated and exposed to human substances, most of the time not at their own choosing. And because of that, it has major negative effects: reproductive issues, environmental degradation, habitat loss, all kinds of things. Not to mention the effects it has on the individual animals, making them sickly, skinny, sometimes aggressive, sometimes erratic. And so, the show sounds loud and salacious. And there are
Yeah.
some crazy moments, from diving into septic systems to catch alligators to literally being elbows deep in a hippo while performing, surgery in the field. But the point of the show is to expose that this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to animals being contaminated with these illicit substances, and really just hoping that people can be a little bit more responsible in how they discard them.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the water system. I mean, obviously that's the main way that that they're getting a hold of these, because people, maybe down, for whatever reason, they may be flushed down the toilet or down the drain, but not realizing the wider impacts that has.
Yeah, anytime a meth bust takes place, as we found out in working with local law enforcement, the first place they go to discard it is down the toilet, because methamphetamine is water soluble. You add that to the fact that people are chucking it in the swamp when a cop's chasing them, or a hurricane comes through and falls over a meth lab. The first place it goes is into the water. Then you have bioaccumulation, meaning all the fish breathe it in, the frogs ingest it, everything else. And that magnifies up the food chain till you get to an alligator that's eating 500, 1,000 fish contaminated with methamphetamine. That has serious, substantial effects, and there's no way for them to escape it. They live in the water, they eat the animals that are contaminated with it, and thus they end up with reproductive issues. They end up being aggressive. They end up really thin. They end up having appetite loss. A lot of the side effects we see with humans on drugs, but they're on it 24/7, and that can be fatal to the animals, which is really sad.
Maybe how can you tell a difference from this is an animal that's been affected by substances versus one that's just an animal living in nature?
Well, I think sadly the majority of authorities are not trained to identify anomalies in wildlife behavior, and why would they be? But I think what you end up with is people going, "Oh, that bear's acting funny, or that alligator's being weird." But it's not just waterways, as we show in the show. It's hippos in South America. It's bears in the center of the country in Colorado and places like that, and alligators in Florida. And this is a problem the world over, and it's happening in every ecosystem, in every environment where there are drugs. And sadly, there are drugs wherever there are people, and people are everywhere. So it really is a big picture thing. And I think we're going to hear about it and learn about it more and more. And if there's one takeaway from this show, it's how to be a little bit more responsible to help mitigate this issue before it becomes bigger.
Talk a little bit about filming this versus some of the other series that you've been a part of. Because obviously, when I think about you in the Amazon, or think about you in other locations, you think of the danger that's there. But talk a little bit about maybe that versus, filming a show like this.
Candidly, one of these episodes, the cocaine hippo episode, where we're in Colombia capturing and castrating hippos, is probably one of the most dangerous things that I've ever been a part of. Because when you're trying to catch a hippopotamus, notoriously one of the most aggressive and dangerous animals in the entire world, to cut its nuts off, it's not too happy with you. So, yeah, I mean, it really is. There are some crazy moments in the show. There's some very dangerous stuff. It's incredibly entertaining. But at the core of it is this message that we're talking about. And I think that's really what's the most important thing. I think audiences will be very entertained. They'll enjoy it. It's crazy cool and interesting and exciting. The visuals are spectacular, but then the message is so important.
And the final thing I want to chat about is the crew that goes with you, because obviously, this is your line of work, and everyone else on the crew has to be trained as well too in these situations. I mean, talk about a little bit about that mindset, the conversation, not just of this, but all the series that you guys go on together to be able to bring this to our screens.
My wife calls it a traveling fraternity. It's the same group of guys I've been with for 10 years. They're literally sitting right over there out that door, working in the office today, where we all are working together on our next set of projects, adventures, and expeditions. And I can sit here and lie to you, Rudy, and tell you about all the great extensive training we've had. But at the end of the day, it comes down to hard work and a little bit of instinct and a shared passion for animals and conservation communication. And that's why we're all in this office today. And that's why we'll all be out in the field next week.
Well, shout out to Forrest. Shout out to the whole team that's right behind that door on the other side as well too. July 28th, Animals on Drugs. Go ahead and check it out, the 3-part series. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.